Hello, viewers. Once again, we welcome you to the CIDC Media Channel Chat Show. I am Tiwari. I am General Manager at Construction Industry Development Council, and I'm your host for today's interview. Viewers, as we are committed to bring to you interviews of experts from across the globe, and these experts are some of the greatest minds who are helping us understand how to navigate through in this really tough time, of this really tough situation. Today we have a very renowned personality with us, and before I introduce the personality who we'll be interviewing today, I would like to give you a brief description about his experiences and his achievements. 38 years of experience in CPWD in different capacities from Assistant Executive Engineer to Director General, encompassing planning, estimation, designing, project management, financial management, maintenance management, arbitration, e-governance, and administration. He has worked as officer on special duty to the Union Minister of Labour. He has also worked as officer on special duty to the Union Minister of Social Justice and Empowerment. Worked as Director of States in the Ministry of Urban Development. Worked in India Telephone Industry under Ministry of Telecom. Also worked as arbitrator, quasi-judicial authority, court commissioner. A man of multiple achievements and recipient of prestigious awards. His name is Shri Prabhakar Singh. It's great to have you, Shri Prabhakar Singh, on this chat show today.
Thanks a lot for inviting me for this interview.
Sir, question to you related to the topic which we'll be discussing with you today, which is condition of construction industry post-COVID. And the question is, what major problems the construction industry will face?
It's a very relevant question today. We have been facing this problem pre-COVID also. Our construction industry was in a doldrums, and we were thinking how to revive it. In CPWD, I did a lot of things earlier, and now the situation is really grim. If you look at the history, construction industry has been the one due to which the economies have been able to revive themselves. So for reviving the world economy now today, we'll have to emphasize more on the construction industry, particularly for India, where this industry is the one where we have maximum employment after agriculture sector, and the contribution to GDP is also highest. So immediately after COVID, we are facing a funds crunch. Only those projects will have to take up where the funds are available. Then we are recently there have been a lot of migration of labor from one state to another state. Mostly we have labor from few states, that is UP, Bihar, West Bengal, or Orissa. So that problem we'll be facing immediately after COVID, and we'll be facing the crunch of labor, and it will be very difficult for them to come back to the same situation because of the problems we already know, the fear and scare of the traumatic situation which we faced during the lockdown period, especially the poor workers. Then we'll be facing the problem of material, transportation, manufacturing, etc. So these things will be making our problem very complex. So this will be a major problem. Not only that, the agreements and the contracts of construction works in which the time and cost were there before the COVID. After COVID, it may not be relevant because the kind of healthcare facilities, the kind of social distancing to be applied there, the disinfection and the sanitation, etc., to be provided at the work site, and the limited availability of workers and time, and the audit of the project from the COVID point of view, like we are facing the central air conditioning system is not operating in most of the buildings because of the problem of infection. Lifts which were supposed they were for 13 passenger lift, only one passenger is going through that now because of social distancing. So all these problems will be very complex, and we'll have to look into these things comprehensively after the COVID.
Right, sir. So rehabilitation of construction works and construction workers, how challenging will it be?
It is a real challenge after the COVID. The works are recently. I have mentioned you just now that the funds will be a big problem, and we'll have to prioritize all our projects where funds are sufficient. Only those projects will have to take up. Labor availability will be very scarce, and accordingly we have to plan our works according to the availability of labor, material, transportation, and manufacturing facilities. So all these components are to be looked into, and you have to do the audit of the project after the COVID, the impact of COVID on the time, cost, and the disputes will arise. Lot many disputes will arise. So we have to prioritize our projects. So for rehabilitation of these projects, these dimensions we'll have to look into, and only then those projects will have to take up. Regarding rehabilitation of workers, they're really afraid now after the problem of migration and the trauma they have faced during this period. They really need the social security, moral support of the people, not only in their healthcare, their shelter, the food, their family. The kind of distressing situation they have faced, I think it will take long time for them to heal up these memories. So the confidence building measures will have to be taken up, and the workers, wherever they have gone to their native places, will have to look for their employment there itself for the temporary phase, and the training facilities will have to provide so that they can be employable. And the remote working will be more prominent now. So all these things will have to think of very loudly, and only then the rehabilitation process of works and workers can start.
Okay. And what kind of financial package or inclusion in the package can help in the reinstatement of the construction industry?
Very valid question you have asked. The construction industry has got many components. We have a buyer, seller, we have contractor, we have workers, we have transportation, we have supplier, we have manufacturers. So all these are very intertwined and interlinked with each other and one another. So if there is a failure in any one of the component, the output will be absolutely nil. So we'll have to see all these things. The comprehensive financial package will have to be given to revive this sector, and the banks and financial institutions, they have their own problems, and they have different kinds of priorities. They are finding difficulty in financing these projects. In fact, most of the projects will come under duress and distress after COVID because of the problem which I have already described to you. So these things will have to be looked into comprehensively, and once the financial package looking into these problems, the problems of workers also, their social security, their safety net, their unemployment allowances, the shelter issue, all these things, if you see comprehensively, and even if the government has to go for market borrowing, I think it would be a wise step for the government to go for market borrowing and give a handsome financial package for the construction sector so that it can be revived. And once it gets revived, I think the entire market borrowing and whatever help comes to this sector, it will come in a multiple way, and the output will be the profits and the gain, social gain and the economic gain to the entire country and the world will be in a multifold. So I think time has come that the construction industry has to be given a different treatment. Now we have construction in different ministries, different organizations are doing construction, and the lopsided approach is there because there is no comprehensive, there is no nodal authority, nodal ministry or nodal organization to look into all these aspects, the technology, the training requirements, and research and development requirements. These are the finer things because of which there will be progress, there will be a big push in the construction sector. So for that, there is a need of a nodal construction ministry, you can say, or you can have any nodal organization like CIDC can take this kind of role and give a comprehensive directive or comprehensive solution, a comprehensive policy matter for both in socio-economic sense, so that the government may think over it and go for it. The piecemeal approach has really killed this sector. It's time that we think very seriously. Even the financial institutions are not very serious. It's time that we identify some of the banks or create one financial institution to specialize into the construction sector and look into its problems and finance accordingly. Only then we can think, go for a real quantum jump in the construction sector, and our economy will revive. Multi-shelter, food, reskilling, new technology, time and cost disputes. Several dimensions are there. It's a whole world in itself. So really, a comprehensive look and a comprehensive package is required. Is rather overdue. In the package which we recently saw the government has given, I think the construction sector has not been looked into comprehensively. It's time that the government looks into it. It's time that CIDC comes out with a proposal, comprehensive proposal, and give it to the government for taking a further decision on this.
How important is the role of training in this situation, and what kind of trainings be injected in the industry?
Yes, it's a very relevant question. The training has been of paramount importance, and somehow in construction sector, we are still, I'm finding the constructions are going as if we were used to do our construction 100 years before. Time has gone ahead, and many technologies have come, faster construction, better quality. And so after COVID, there will be scarcity of labor, the scarcity of materials, many things. So here the training element becomes very important, of high skill. Now it's time for automation, it's time for mechanization, intelligent working, artificial intelligence is to be introduced, robotics is to be introduced, like BIM modeling, building information. This modeling is to be in design and its maintenance or construction, the Internet of Things, the ERP. These in design, execution, installation, maintenance, these kinds of things are required. The precast technology, the modular construction, remote sensing and remote working, the use of more and more IT into our work, then social distancing, the measurements, the remote measurement of works, the billing, accounting, payment, ordering, supply, inventory management. Not only that, the social aspect of the health of workers, their immunity, the food, exercise, yoga, lifestyle, all these things have to be looked into. That's a whole gamut of things, I think, and training is going to really play a very important role, which somehow we have forgotten completely. We are doing it, but it is too less for such a vast country. Now the workers have gone to their villages. Now they're unemployed. It's time that, according to the need of the workers, we give them some training there and make them employable for in the local conditions so that they can survive. So we have social responsibility also. So training is really, I think, here the CIDC can come out with its proposals and do this work. And not only it is viable, also not only it's social work, but it's economically also viable. So training is really required, not only in our country, in our villages, all over the world. There's a need of training and make construction more viable. The post-COVID construction will be of different kind. There will be more people working from home, and there will be remote working, remote sensing. So entire design of the construction sector, then the operation of the construction sector is going to change, and there comes the role of training, and training will be right from the lower level to the top level. The management has to be of different kind, and the monitoring has to be of different kind. The project management will be of different kind, and the workers who will be working at site, they will be having a different kind of tools and apparatus for their installation, their construction work, their testing procedures. So there comes the role of training. It's a huge opportunity for the training organization. I think they should take it with both hands and put our country towards on the path of progress, and make our country more prosperous through training.
Training indeed is going to be very, very important, sir. You very rightly pointed it out. And my last question to you is, what according to you should be the do's and don'ts for construction industry, keeping in mind the health safety of workers or works at site?
A very pertinent question you have asked. Post-COVID, the situation is going to be totally different, and we are not able to comprehend even now how the COVID is going to behave, what will be its impact. But still, we can see the world after COVID is going to be totally different. Social distancing is going to be the norm of the day, and masks will be always on our face. The kind of situation we are facing is really unique. This pandemic has been one of a kind, and during this period, the unique kind of slump we are facing, recession we are facing, there is no demand, there is no supply. So there is a slump in demand also, there is a slump. So during this, I have already, this post-COVID, I have already recommended that the rehabilitation package is the order of the day. It has to be provided in any form. Otherwise, we won't be able to revive our economy, which we are thinking that by the year 2025, we will be a $3 trillion US dollar economy. And by the year 2032, India is poised for a $10 trillion US dollar economy. And without the help of construction sector, it is just not possible to do. So we have to overemphasize on the construction sector. At the side, you have to introduce health checkup facilities, like provide masks, provide sanitizers, disinfection, provision of sanitation. It has to be very stringent, which we have been forgetting. Although the provisions are there in our contracts, etc., but the kind of sites which we visit and see how the works are going on, it is most neglected. The shelter in which our poor workers live there, they are very unhygienic and very poorly designed. So proper shelter is to be provided, and in CPWD, I had designed a very good shelter for workers, and I had given it to PMO also, and it was circulated. And the cost is not much, only that we don't pay much attention towards it, and the workers become sick, their families become sick, a lot of deaths are there, a lot of accidents are there. The cost is phenomenal, but we don't understand that. So it is time that we look into these things. It is investment. If you are investing on the training of worker, on their health of workers, they will be giving you output. And if you don't help them, if you don't look after them, if you don't support them, I don't think your projects can come up. You have to prioritize your projects. Which projects are now essential, which where the funds are available, and which projects are viable now. Only those projects we should take, and reduce the travel of workers. The social distancing will be a norm. So to the extent possible, you put them near your workplace, so that they don't have to travel much. And the Arogya app which the government has given to us, everybody should use that, so that it will be easy for us to stop this pandemic further. Then the audit, the COVID audit, I say every project has to be audited from the COVID point of view, and only those projects we should take. And the remote operation and working, we should think the workers or the staff need not be at the site all the time. A lot of things can be done remotely. A lot of production can also be done remotely. So those things we can work out. And the lockdown period has been very prolonged. During this lockdown period, we can do the education the way we are doing the interview. I think that many classes can be run through this. Remote classes can be done, can be held, and we can educate our people. And in the on the don't side is that please don't fire our workers. Our Honorable Prime Minister has already appealed that be compassionate and please pay them for the period even if they are not working because of the situation which we are facing. And even if it costs you much, I think it's time that we invest in our workers so that after the COVID, they will be able to come back and do our work. The time, fund, and cost, etc., they have to be audited, and don't allow sick people to come at site, come at work, and the quarantine facilities are to be provided. Our sites will be totally different now. The different kinds of facilities will have to be there, and there will be a medical team there, and the medical facilities will be there. The space will be there for the medical arrangement. So that will be a different kind of scenario. And don't encourage your workers to go back to their villages, to the native places. In fact, you should support them. This is a time, not only the money, it's a support, moral support to, because they are your people, they are your children, they're your family. Unless you become you have show empathy and you feel with them, be with them during this distress situation, you won't be able to do your project later on, because it's a team effort, and they are part of your team. If they are in distress, you are also in distress. So please don't discourage them. Treat them well. Every day we are seeing on television, many accidents are happening. The families are really in distress. My heart goes to those people. They are the people who are working for us, and whatever we are having, they are contributing to our economy. It is because of them we are surviving. It is so. I appeal to all the people who are in construction sector. Please be more humane and compassionate towards your team members, the workers, and don't throw them out from their job. Thing which I have message which I want to give to the construction sector.
Thank you very much, sir, for the loud and impactful message which you have given on this platform today, and the appeal which you made to the fraternity of construction industry in this country. And from CIDC Media Channel, we are really thankful to have you, and you have really touched upon all those critical and important aspects which we need to know during this tough time of COVID-19, and also the discussion which you've done on the condition of construction industry post-COVID. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us.
Welcome. I'm grateful.
And for our viewers, I would like to tell you that keep on liking such videos which we are bringing to you. All these experts are trying to help us understand how we have to actually, understand the dynamics of the industry, and also how we have to, be calm and composed and deal with the situation in this tough situation of COVID-19. Keep on giving us feedback also through the comments, which you can always do. And based on your feedback, we'll keep on bringing such more interesting interviews of the industry experts. Thank you very much.